संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोश्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सुरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Today's talk is part of the celebrations being organized by Ramakrishna Math Bagda on the occasion of the completion of 125 years of wonderful service to society by the Ramakrishna Mission. The topic for today's talk is Ramakrishna Mission's role of spreading values and wisdom in the society. Of course, the very advent of Sri Ramakrishna into this world is for bringing about a renaissance of Hinduism. It was really getting misdirected, going in a weird way due to several influences, and hence Sri Ramakrishna came to show a path for regeneration. Subsequently, his chief disciple, Swami Vivekananda, established the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897 with the twin ideals of Atmano Mokshartam Jagat Hitaya cha, spiritual evolution of the individual, and at the same time service to the society. The imparting of values and wisdom has been one of the main pillars of the activities of the Ramakrishna Mission. This can be called a threefold approach. One is through talks, discourses, seminars, etc. The other, or the number two, through literature, etc. And thirdly, through our educational institutions. Under each of these verticals, the mission has done remarkable work in the last 125 years. If you look at the domain of talks, discourses, seminars, etc., the monks of the Ramakrishna Mission have done extensive work in India and in several parts of the globe in disseminating the life-giving message of Sri Ramakrishna. So, our classes, lectures, discourses, etc. have been deeply appreciated and have helped not only spiritual aspirants, but also others in the society who in general were leading an ethical, moral life, but were facing quite a lot of problems. And if you look at the work done by the mission in the field of harmony, it is tremendous. The Ramakrishna Mission is recognized as a symbol of religious harmony, and practically no major seminar or function on interfaith is held without the presence of the monks of the Ramakrishna Mission. Obviously, all these lead to the spread of values as well as wisdom in the society, because India being a nation of such diverse culture, religious beliefs, etc., religious harmony is extremely necessary for peaceful coexistence. So the mission has been doing extraordinary work in this direction. It all started with Swami Vivekananda's historic appearance at the World Parliament of Religions in 1893. And following his footsteps, the mission has been organizing several such interfaith conferences, seminars, etc. all over the country and also in other parts of the world. Not only mere seminars, the monks of the mission have often interacted at individual levels with faith leaders, faith communities, etc., and have done immense work in spreading a spirit of harmony and coexistence. Through the discourses of the Ramakrishna Mission monks, several individuals, a large number of individuals, have found solutions to their life's problems. In many places, our monks command a good attendance, and thereby they are influencing society deeply, spreading values and wisdom. For example, in Delhi, when Revered Swami Ranganathananji Maharaj was the secretary, his Sunday lectures used to attract probably around 1,000 people. All the major educated segments of the society used to be represented there. Representatives of the government, civil servants, and so on. Even those who were occupying very senior positions in the government used to come and attend. Not only that, successive prime ministers like Sri Jawaharlal Nehru, Srimati Indira Gandhi, etc., used to attend his talks and were very much benefited. Obviously, if you influence the Prime Minister with the right values and impart the right kind of wisdom, the effect down the line on the citizens is going to be quite substantial. That way, our monks have been serving the society and spreading values and wisdom. As far as our literature is concerned, till recent times, of course nowadays, after the boom in digitization, computerization, etc., people, the habit of reading itself has gone down substantially. Young or old, all access their mobiles, etc., whenever they want to hear anything. So obviously the sale of books sale of literature has come down in the last 7 or 8 years. But prior to that, for example, even a center like the New Delhi Ramakrishna Mission, which I was heading for 16 years from 2007 to 2023 May, the sale of books would touch something like 1 crore per annum. These books are usually on the major scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, etc., and also on the Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature consisting of the lives of Sri Ramakrishna, the Holy Mother Sarada Devi and Swami Vivekananda, and also direct disciples, etc. And also the messages of the Holy Trio and the first generation monks of the order have all been brought out in the form of books, and all these used to be kind of bestsellers because at a highly subsidized and affordable price, these books were being sold through our showrooms. Thereby, there was a huge sale of literature all over the country, leading to the diffusion of wisdom and values throughout the country through people going through our literature. This is another major area which contributed the spread of values and wisdom in the society. If you talk about the initiatives through the medium of education, This has been a major area where the mission has contributed very significantly. Swami Vivekananda went on a Bharat Parikrama on foot from 1886 to 1892, starting just after the Mahasamadhi of Sri Ramakrishna. What he saw was really appalling. He was deeply disturbed by the plight of the masses, the lack of education, and the masses being mired in poverty, illiteracy, and superstition deeply touched him. And from then onwards, he really felt that education was a real solution for the problems of our country. He was very clear that if India is to be regenerated, the masses have to be educated. So that's why in several of his lectures after his return from the West, where he had gone to participate in the World Parliament of Religions, rather more precisely to raise funds for the work among the masses in India, in which mission he was not that successful, although he roused the consciousness of not only the Americans, perhaps the entire world community through his stirring addresses. But after his return to India, he gave a large number of lectures and he made some path-breaking revelations about education. He virtually redefined education. Education is always thought of as a flow from the teacher to the taught, but Swami Vivekananda completely reversed his idea. He said it is not from outside to inside, rather it is from inside to outside. So he defined education as the manifestation of perfection already in an individual. This idea totally changes the dynamics of education. Not only that, he said education should instill a sense of tremendous Atma Shraddha or self-belief in students. He said it should enable the students to stand on their own feet and also face the challenges of life. So, the Ramakrishna Mission started a large number of educational institutions. Particularly, there was a tremendous growth right after independence because the then government in power wanted education to spread, and they thought it was possible with the help of the Ramakrishna Mission. So they were encouraging us to start education institutions in several parts of the country. So the mission's idea of education was to replicate to the extent possible the old idea of the Gurukula type of education, where the students and the teachers would live in close proximity, and the students would rather learn from the lives of the teachers rather than from textbooks. So we started a number of residential education institutions, and a special mention needs be mentioned about the orphanages in Chennai. There is the Madras Students' Home, and in West Bengal, where in the Rahara Center, we have an orphanage for about 800 students. Similarly, there are other places where we have such institutions. Perhaps the Belgharia Students' Home also has a free students' home where students can stay and study, poor students. So in this way, a large number of residential education institutions were started, and through that, not only academic education, but quite a bit of general value education, imparting of Indian culture, etc. was undertaken because the students would live in close proximity to the monks. In fact, the education institution at Devgar Vidyapit, which was then in Bihar and which is currently in Chhattisgarh, was started with a very objective of imparting a Gurukula type of education where students would live in close proximity to the teachers. In those days, there was not such a terrible rush for getting marks as it is seen now. Things used to be much simpler, and students could study with much less pressure or tension, etc. So those type of institutions were largely successful. In fact, many of our monks of the order were from those institutions, the ex-students of some of those residential institutions. But this trend started changing in the last 20-30 years with more and more emphasis on academic excellence, the tremendous rat race for getting admission in MBBS or engineering courses, etc. So obviously what was being done was good, but something more was also necessary. So not only we started schools, we also started colleges. We have a number of colleges, and very recently in the last 5 or 6 years, we have also established a deemed university, Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, just close to Belur Math. So obviously we have every type of institution starting from kindergarten up to the level of university. In most of these educational institutions, quite a lot is being done by way of inculcating values and wisdoms in students, but these are all being done in a very general way. But as part of Swami Vivekananda's 150th birth anniversary celebrations around the year 2011 or so, the Ramakrishna Mission Delhi took up a major initiative in this regard. They felt that the students, particularly we have a large student community in Delhi, probably more than 1 crore of students are studying in various educational institutions, largely schools in Delhi. But it was found that nothing is being given to the students by way of values, etc. Of course, several institutions were attempting in their own way, but most of these programs were in what we call as do's and don'ts, kind of imposing certain values, disciplines, etc. on the students. And obviously these methods were not very effective. So in reality, the students were not getting much. So the Ramakrishna Mission Delhi first conducted a pilot program called The Awakening, which was done in 50 schools, 50 selected schools of Delhi, 5 modules each, conducted by the resource persons of the Ramakrishna Mission Delhi. The survey or the assessment at the end of the program was remarkable. More than 72% of the students felt that they were far more capable than what they had imagined. Based on this pilot program, a detailed 3-year graded value education program called the Awakened Citizen Program was developed by the Ramakrishna Mission Delhi with the help of a wonderful HR firm called Illumine Knowledge Resources Private Limited, led by one Mr. Srinivasan, a brilliant IIT IIM Ahmedabad graduate. This program is largely centered on Swami Vivekananda's idea that education should help to instill a tremendous sense of Atma Shraddha or self-belief in the students. The program also is based on Swami Vivekananda's idea all power, knowledge, glory, etc. is inherent in a student, and the teacher, the school, the books, the syllabus all other facilities are only aids or catalysts in bringing out this inherent ability or talent or wisdom or knowledge or capacity in a student. Obviously, this completely reverses the generally understood dynamics of education. So, this also creates a very level playing field for all the students. Today, it's very tragic that on an average, more than 70% of the students across the country are not really connected either with the school or with the syllabus or with the teacher or with education itself, because all the attention is garnered by the creamy layer of students, maybe 10% in the class or even less than that. And there is a small percentage who somehow manage, and the rest 70% are left high and dry. So in such a situation, there is increasing violence, dissatisfaction, suicides, depression, and so many other negative results in the society. So obviously the STEM needed to be arrested, and this program has come as a tremendous boon for the children, the students, parents, everybody. Because the idea of instilling Atma Shraddha and the idea that all power, knowledge, glory, etc. is in the individual is as relevant to the teachers, the parents, and everyone as it is to the students. So this program, which is built on the central idea of Atma Shraddha, and also which takes into account Swamiji's idea, all power, all knowledge is inherent in the student, which he calls as perfection. This program really addresses many of the problems facing which our educational institutions and students and teachers, etc., are all facing today. So, of course, how would a child which is not doing well at all academically in the class and hence has become a backbencher, how would such a child appreciate the idea that all knowledge, power, etc. is in the child? To help the child understand, we have converted this idea into 16 modules for the first year, second year, third year. So this can be run for classes 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9 as per the convenience of the school. In the first year, the 16 modules are divided into what are called 6 universal possibilities, namely being heroic, expanding oneself, living in harmony, Shraddha, seeking perfection, and seeking truth. There are also similarly 6 unique possibilities in the domain of knowledge and another 6 unique possibilities in the domain of physical sciences such as sports, etc. So the first year, the children are exposed to these 18 possibilities. In the second year, their idea and understanding of the universal possibilities is deepened. And the third year, they are given the pathways as to how to manifest these possibilities. So the idea is each of these possibilities would ultimately lead to a citizenship value, and thereby India would have more awakened citizens deeply rooted in values, wisdom, etc. So this beautiful program, which attempts to inculcate values and wisdom, etc., at the level of the students, particularly students of the lower classes, can do enormous good for the nation. In fact, if this program is run really well the way it is designed, probably in the next 15 years, we may achieve a major, huge transformation in the country itself. Now, how this program is being done, particularly, as the one major idea, the children have to be really told that even if you are not academically that great or that bright, still you can do wonders. Your life is not a waste. You are not a pushover. All these ideas are given to students through some 500 real life explorations. where children learn through peers, learn through discussion in the class. It's a highly participative program where the children hold the center stage and the teachers take the back seat. So we give 2 days training to the teachers for each of the 3 years program. For the first year, second year, third year, the teachers must attend the successive years of training, and the students would also progress along with the teachers. So through this program, because it is student centric, there are a huge number of real life explorations, incidents with which students can directly connect or relate to. And we have also presented to the students a large number of real life role models like Mr. Amul's Cherian, Mahatma Gandhi, Jamshedji Tata, and many others. Many such great personalities have been brought to the classrooms, and the children are exposed to their lives, how they have struggled, what was great about them, how they could strike it so big. So when they do it in an atmosphere which is extremely student friendly, which is based on entire class discussions, there is nothing like do's and don'ts in this program. There's nothing like right or wrong in this program. So this program is extremely popular with the students. In fact, in one of our meetings, a Kendriya Vidyalaya teacher said, Swamiji, in our school, this is the most popular program. Because in this program, the brightest boy and the one who is considered the dullest in the class, both can vigorously participate and glean from the wonderful insights. Because the program affords scope for everyone. It's not tough in terms of academics. They are all simple middle school level ideas which they can easily understand. I mean, it's from playground, it's from school campus, what's happening in school, about bullying, how when a teacher introduces a new lesson, what happens when a student come back from school and finds his grandmother sick. Every exploration, every incident that is stated or narrated in the program is closely connected to the lives of the students. So why we are also we have huge videos and other evidence to show that this program has really been received well by the students, because our website viva.rkmm.org, there are a large number of video clips whereby the student responses have been captured. Since there is a lot for the teachers also to gain, they also participate enthusiastically in the training. Of course, in the first year, we find there is some reluctance in the teachers, but when they come back for the second year training, they often say, we do not know how the students have been impacted, but our lives have been changed. So through this program, a sincere effort is made to give a new identity to the students, probably even to the teachers themselves. So the students feel that they can do a lot more than what they really thought of they could do before. They feel extremely confident about facing life. They feel that even if I'm not that good in academics, it is not that everything is lost. Not only that, it is found that if this program is run properly, even academically, the students are showing much more improvement, and they are able to cope up with academics even better. In fact, we were called for the National Curriculum Framework Commission meeting, and Dr. Kasurirangan himself was deeply appreciative, who is heading that commission, was deeply appreciative about this program and was very keen that how some of the ideas can be incorporated in the National Curriculum Framework. And very recently, we were called for an NCERT meeting on inclusive education for all-round inclusion, and also global citizenship. Again, when we presented these ideas, all the experts who were present there were deeply appreciative about this program, the way it is structured. So this program has been a big boon, and today this program has touched probably more than 12 lakh students. More than 6,000 schools from Kashmir to Kanyakumari have enrolled into this program, which is running for more than 10 years, and more than 60,000 teachers have been trained to be facilitators. Obviously, ultimately we have to find out the proof of pudding is in eating, and then how this has really impacted the lives of the students, etc. An extensive survey was conducted by a professional firm, and they came out with stunning results about the impact of this program on the students. So the success of this program and the demand from stakeholders such as teachers, parents, etc. led us to develop another program called Awakening or Jagriti in Hindi for primary school students. This program is completely based on stories, and already this program has been tried in more than 230 schools, and once again we find that this program is finding tremendous response from the students, the teachers, parents, etc. So our idea is to take this program even further to more number of schools. Since it was becoming very difficult for Ramakrishna Mission to handle such a huge program, because today we have resource persons posted in several parts of the country, 85 people, including 40 full-time volunteers like former civil servants, doctorates in science subjects, etc., are all working with us totally free. The rest, about 45, are paid a very moderate compensation for the tremendous work that we do. This program has become so huge. So to accommodate and expand it further, we have set up a new institution called Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Institute of Values in Gurugram, Haryana, and this center was made fully functional in May this year, and from here we are reaching out to even more stakeholders. We have already started conducting programs for parents called Arise, where the parents are very beautifully handheld and told how they should accept, how they should have trust in the children, how they can really cope with the demands of the children, etc. Again, this is another beautiful program. Similarly, we are also doing follow-up. The students who have undergone all the 3 years of program, they are being drafted into a program called ACT, Awakened Ambassadors for Community Transformation, where we are giving them small projects, asking them how they are utilizing the wisdom they have gained from this program in their day-to-day life, in their different surroundings. Similarly, for the teachers who have already completed all the 3 years of training, to keep them motivated and to convert them into value ambassadors for this very program, we have developed another initiative called Vivek Shakti, whereby we hold regular discussions, etc., with those teachers, regular sessions, motivating them further, finding out in what other ways this program can be spread, and also ultimately how this program would confer more and more benefits to the students. Now that we have a separate institution specifically dedicated for these type of initiatives, just after coming here, we tried out our hands in doing a new program for housewives called Kalyani. That has been received quite well. Similarly, we also started another initiative for senior citizens called Subrat, living in Ananda. This also was quite successful. Now our idea is to reach out to college students and also to corporate executives, professionals, etc. Virtually, our idea is to spread values and obviously also wisdom to every segment of the society. We are also setting up a new facility a little higher than the altitude of Rishikesh. It is in between Rishikesh and Uttarkashi. An institution for mindset transformation and for contemplation and other such initiatives called Sarada Tapovan. The work is going on. So it's not that only one center is doing all such activities. Several centers of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission are constantly engaged in these types of value education, teachers' conferences, conferences for other professionals like doctors, engineers, chartered accountants, etc. So this is one of the major areas in which the Ramakrishna Mission has contributed very significantly, namely the spreading of values and wisdom in the society. But of course, all said and done, still a lot more needs to be done, because India, unfortunately, during the British rule, was completely uprooted from its cultural heritage, so to say. Lord Macaulay was intent on uprooting her from her roots. So the education which the British introduced, with which we are even now struggling, is quite really very much against our own tradition, culture, values, etc. So we are waging a heroic battle. Of course, just one institution alone is not enough, but still the Ramakrishna Mission, because of its extensive presence all over the country and because of its deep commitment to values, its deep commitment to interfaith harmony, etc., is a trusted institution, and people really believe that Ramakrishna Mission stands for all this. And hence, in general, the response to our programs have been quite good. So that way we have been largely successful. But then the task is humongous. Mind you, our value education has touched just 6,000 schools. Today, probably we have about maybe 8-9 lakh schools in this country. So we need to work faster. We need to really scale up the program, for which we need really dedicated workers, volunteers, resource persons, etc. We also offer a 2-year Vivekananda fellowship for those who are deeply interested in serving our nation. But all that, would require tremendous resources, both men and money. So, however, we are continuing our humble efforts. A very big team is working together in this regard. So our idea is, ultimately, even supposing the program reaches something like 1 crore of children in the next 10 years, even if 1% of the participating students are deeply impacted, it can really redefine our nation. It can change the nation in a major way, because we would be able to produce extraordinarily awakened citizens, deeply rooted in our ancient wisdom, values, etc., who would not only just do well for themselves, they will have in their hearts the well-being of others too. After all, that's what we need, because India, our GDP growth is really promising, you might say. But then unless the benefits percolate down to the level of the masses, obviously all those growth will be skewed and lopsided and will not really bring about peace and harmony. So while we are working at the Ramakrishna Mission in this area, namely spreading of values and wisdom, which we have been doing relentlessly for the 125 years, we are doing it in a more and more structured way as days advance, as days pass by. Still, we feel that we have to really rope in more volunteers, more committed people. We need a huge army of Vivekananda followers, those who'd like to, spend at least 2 years of their time in the service of the nation. So we hope that with the blessings of Swamiji, our efforts would continue and would continue to work in this area, and definitely would contribute significantly toward the spreading of values and wisdom in the society. Thank you.